This is my Ruger LCP with the Crimson Trace laser. I love this weapon. I love it's a great pistol. Unfortunately, there are no paddle holsters that I can find on the internet. I wanted a paddle holster for this thing because I'm not real comfortable with the inside the waistband holster. It's okay, but I'm just a little more comfortable with a paddle holster, and I just couldn't seem to find one. I could find the kind that had the belt loops that were held on with a belt, but sometimes I don't wear a belt all the time. I wanted a paddle holster that I could use with this weapon. So I got online and I was able to find this holster on eBay. It's the seller's name is Coye57, C-O-Y-E 57. He calls this the Barely There holster. You can get it in brown or black. It's sturdy. It's formed for the weapon. It's a great holster, and typically this holster has got more of a teardrop shape here on the upper section. And he was nice enough. The guy's name is Lanny, and he was nice enough to square this off for me to give me room to drill holes and mount it on an existing paddle. So he sent it to me. I was able to measure it out and cut holes in it. And what I did was I ordered this Uncle Mike's Kydex paddle. I got this off of eBay for like $8, maybe $3, $4 shipping. So it was pretty inexpensive to get this paddle. All I had to do to this paddle was I cut these little barbs off. It had these barbs that how did it go? They went like this. These little barbs. To get the gun out of the way so you can see it a little better. These little barbs went on like this on the end of these little prongs, and those barbs, they stuck out a little too far for me, and so I got the Dremel tool and I cut them off so that they don't protrude too far through and make it too uncomfortable to wear. And it's a little easier to get this on and off, but it's still very secure when you do put it on. I also smoothed out these with a little Dremel tool. So now I was left with this paddle. You've got these bolts that come with the paddle. These bolts, you got 2 screws and you got 2 nuts, and these nuts are like little receiver nuts with sleeves that I was able to drill these holes out after measuring. I just used this as a template. I just basically put it where I thought I wanted it to go. Marked the holes from inside the paddle holster with a pin and drilled these holes out. These holes are 15/64 drill bit. That's one size less than a 1/4 inch drill bit, and it drilled out fairly nicely. These little nuts basically just go in on this side. You just push them through the little hole, and they have, like I said, a little sleeve. So on this side, the nuts go into the paddle. So all you have to do on this side, just drop these bolts into these little holes in the paddle. I put them in the top one. Well, if I can get it to go in. Let's see here. There we go. That one. And just line these up on the holster. See if I can do this. Yep, that one started. That one started, and snug these up. And I plan to go back. I may go back later and put some thread lock on these just to make sure they stay nice and tight. But once they're on, and you get those fairly snug, it pulls these in almost flush with the leather. So it's not going to be scratching up the gun or anything. I'm sure there's probably a little something you can put on here to keep that from happening. But it's pretty flush, as you can see. It's very close. And so now it's mounted onto the paddle, and the gun fits nicely right into the holster. So now I have a paddle holster for my LCP, Ruger LCP, with a Crimson Trace laser, which I was not able to find until I made my own, basically. I didn't feel like I needed a thumb strap. a thumb brake on here because it's in there pretty tight. It's not really going to go anywhere. I use this finger and this thumb to draw the weapon out of the holster, and it's when it's in the holster, it's in there tight. It's not going to go anywhere. So works great for me. Fits nice. It's these barbs. Since I cut these barbs off, it's nice and smooth. It comes on and off fairly easy, but it's still very secure and snug when you have it in your pants. So that's my solution for the LCP paddle holster. By the way, Koi 57, he typically puts belt cutouts here and here. This was originally meant for like a belt holster, but I told him just to leave them solid. I didn't need the cutouts for the belt because I wasn't going to use it for that. So, like I said, he was nice enough to leave this squared off for me, and you can trim this later however way you want to. So anyway, that's the paddle holster, and hope it works out for you if you have to make one like this one and you can't find one online. Okay, here is how the holster looks as worn. As you can see, there's virtually no print of a weapon. If you do see anything, it looks more like a cell phone or a PDA than anything else. It's very comfortable worn this way. As you can see, it's very thin. It's worn on the side. It's a little more comfortable for me to wear a paddle holster like this versus having an inside the waistband holster, because it just pulls. Then it rubs on your side. It pulls the pants out a little bit too much, stretches the waistband. This to me is more comfortable in most situations. An inside the waistband holster sometimes might be more appropriate depending on what you're wearing, but in most cases, for me anyway, this is going to suffice. It still have access to my front pocket, and it hangs down not very far at all. You can change the location on the holster on this paddle by virtue of where you put these bolts. And like I said before, Lanny at Koi 57 was able to leave this squared off for me so I could bolt this onto this paddle holster. And it stays in the holster very secure. And these little wings here, like I said before, they were designed to have cutouts on either side to run a belt through it. I didn't want that because I don't really plan on wearing it like that. You may choose to leave the belt cutouts there. I may even cut these wings off later if I feel like I don't need them, but right now they're not in my way. I've just kind of bent them inward a little bit, and they form a contour around my side. So it's very comfortable, and I plan on wearing it like this most of the time. So hope that answers some questions for you, and if you decide to go that route, it's pretty easy to do. So if you have any questions, just look at the annotation. You can get in touch with me by email, and I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have.